Drodzy Państwo, witam na kobiecej końcówce dzisiejszego dnia.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the female ending of today. Today, these are the women who are going to have the last voice, and I will introduce my guests in an alphabetic order. Kalina Alabrudzińska, film director, screenwriter. I will mention only 3 films. Nothing is lost, and Sexify from Netflix, about an app who helps males and females reach orgasm. Good evening. Nearly from Łódź. She came to Łódź and experienced depression. But it lasted for only 5 minutes. Especially when you go through Bałuty. Marta Dzido.
Pisarka, reżyserka.
Writer, film director, studying in Łódź as well. Just to mention her last books, Friday and Season for Strawberries collection of stories. Both are still available in our bookshop, so you can go to the bookshop to buy them. Marta will be there. And last but not least, Peszek. Actress, singer, songwriter. I would simply say an artist. I cannot understand how she does it, but yesterday her record was brought out, and today she's with us. Good evening. I don't know how it's possible, but I'm happy to be here. I am also a person from Łódź a little bit, because I used to live here for 6 years in Teofilów district. Okay, so 4 women related to Łódź. I could quote Maria's record because I have been listening to her songs all day. The tomorrow is ours, and the tomorrow is today. This is how I feel it when she sings, and this is just a bit of an introduction, and I'll give the floor to those whom you want to listen to. After the women's strike, which flooded the whole country, I had a feeling that it was a spark which was like a blip and vanished. Then I listened to Maria, read Marta's books, and watched Sexify, and they made me believe that it's going into the right direction. Then we heard Mr. Czarnek, who talked about female virtues, and I would like to ask you about the whole atmosphere after the women's strike, how you interpret it. Okay, so I'll start. Okay, the one who has lived in Łódź the shortest is the one to start. It's a great thing. I support everything that has been happening, and I participate in the process as much as I can. I am a film director, screenwriter, so I can write what I feel, and I feel that this is the moment when women are welcomed. So now males are not so warmly welcomed, but that's something that I don't like. Our voice is heard, and I try to amplify it, the doing things that I do professionally. Netflix helped me to speak out what I feel. It's a great platform. Now we are working on the second season of Sexify. Back then and now I can tell a lot which is unique, but still it's a global platform which is not associated with original approach, but I'm very happy to tell everything that I feel deep inside. For me, Sexify, that's what I feel. It has an educational role. There is no sexual education at school at all. Kids learn about it from YouTube. I knew that the series is not for me, but I simply wanted to learn what you want to tell to young people. It's not about education. We don't want to feel superior to others. It's about responsibility, which I felt. The words which I share is like following the truth, like following the light, but I don't feel I need to educate, but simply be a responsible creator who does something for younger people. The young people should hear the truth because they will not find it anywhere else. Maria, over to you. You were here in the Freedom Games last year, and I felt fascinated by you. I felt hungry for talking more to you. I liked the concept of tribal dance that needs to take place during the women's strike, that it needs to take place. It was really an exceptional comparison. But back then, we referred to criticism that the good girls shouldn't do like that. And that's what I wanted to ask you about the language that keeps us disciplined. But on the other hand, we had to take over the language, use the language, and no longer be good girls. An experience which happened to me a few days ago. It's really meaningful in the context of what we are talking about. I told to one of the people with whom I work, I simply pointed out his unprofessional behavior. In response, I heard that I was aggressive. Although it was quite a calm conversation, I am able to shout, but it was not like that. And then I heard that the black color which lines my existence is revealed. Many other aspects were mentioned there related to my professional life, but it's quite symptomatic when a woman accurately points out some unprofessional behavior. We hear that we are aggressive. That's why my personal experience, because show business is highly masculinized, is that Still, if we talk about tribal dance and what I was telling about during the last Freedom Games, during the strike, I hoped that the tribal dance would have something in common with what I feel as an artist, as a female, to restore the holy nature to what is holy, to our abdomens, to our vulvas, which were, as a result of the culture in which we live, contaminated, stained, and the basic function, which is holy, was they were deprived of their holy function. When we ask women what is the part of their body that they hate most, 97% of them say that this is the abdomen. It's really terrible that the place, the area which should be the holiest because it gives life, has been deprived of this holiness by the culture where we live. I'm just about to end. And I had a dream. I hoped that these strikes would go towards this tribal side. For a long time, I have been fascinated by a primary gesture, anasuromai. It's about showing your vulvas. It's taking your skirt up. This gesture was used by women in ancient time to scare danger when strong winds were coming that could devastate our households, when you had to calm down the seas, when dangerous warriors were coming. Women, a big group of women was standing and using the amasuramai gesture, they were putting their skirts up, and the holy power of vulvas was repelling the bad energy. I hoped that these strikes would go this way, to be honest.
Oczywiście byłoby to bardzo malownicze.
Then it could be really a picturesque thing if we women did something like that. But it was also about a more metaphorical side of Anasuramai, to restore the holiness to our abdomens. So I liked it when you said you can speak from your abdomen, because my whole record is from the abdomen. It's really important for us to talk from the abdomen because it's a completely different voice. Yep, I do remember the first strikes, which took place in the evening. But there was Tuesday, 2 p.m., lots of people. It was light, beautifully early autumn and nice weather. And when everybody shouted, fuck off, so loud, perhaps it would take the second to show the vulvas. Yeah, after the darkness. I normally don't. I don't feel any shame to tell what I think, but the shouted slogan "fuck off" was really strong. So keep calm and carry on. There'll be the time for vulvas. I would like to say. The moment for vulvas has already come. Iwona Demka, vagina artist, I learned from her about the ritual of putting your skirt up. She makes beautiful sculptures which look like butterflies from a distance. When you come closer, these are beautiful vaginas. I do hope that they have the executive power and your dream to put our skirts up will come true. So I'll be the first one to raise my skirt, but I feel so strongly that everybody leaves us in peace so that I don't have to think if I'm courageous enough to go, to shout, to fight, to live in peace, to go for a walk, to raise my kid, being sure that she will live as she wants, that she shouldn't feel remorse that she works too much or too little. I simply want to live in peace. I'm really ready for it, and I think that's the right moment for it to come.
Nie zejdę z tego.
I'm not going to give up with the vagina. We don't like our abdomens and we do not know our vaginas because this is another topic. The sculptures show that our vaginas are beautiful. We know our bodies, but only until our waistline. Everything which is below is ugly. And this is what we heard when we were little girls. So I would like to talk with you because thanks to you, maybe the audience is surprised that I have put so many beautiful flowers into this one vase. Maybe we could have 3 meetings, but these girls are giving me the power of the women's strike. Last year, Maria said that we, the artists, are canaries in the mine. We can sense the changes earlier, and we have to sing about the changes. So I'm slightly delayed because I spoke with the girls in 2016 during the Black protest. I went out to protest to defend the consensus, to remain the law, to leave the law as it used to be. But the strike made me and other girls feel that now we want to change it, that we have to delete everything. We don't want any compromise. We want everything. And thanks to the girls, because I read Marta's books, because I listen to Maria, because I watch Sexify and other movies by Kalina. So all these pieces of art help me to get rid of layers, just like layers in the onion. I have been covered by these layers, so everything that has been related with my body, with my sexuality, was sinful. And I think that this revolution is happening right now, that you are doing the revolution. So I wanted to ask you how to get rid of this feeling of belonging to the church. Well, you have to shake it off. You have to shake the church, the upbringing you have to shake off all the obligations, expectations that I would like to meet. You have to shake off the aspirations, different cultural standards or roles the society would like to see us in. It's a long-lasting process. I don't know. Maybe only a small percentage of women can say that I've never had a problem with this. Well, but I don't know such girls. Maybe there are such girls, but most of us have been brought up in this oppressive culture. So we heard about these dirty places, dirty thoughts. Don't do this. Don't go out with boys. Be a good girl. Be decent. Because what will people think about you if you continue behaving like this? So this is the voice of our mothers, grandmothers, aunts, fathers, brothers, teachers, other people, religion teachers, and other people who influence us when we are children. And it's hard to get rid of this. You have to be brave. You have to be internally sure that this is the direction you want to follow. This is a difficult road because we are not following the road in a group. We have to be lonely on this route. But then we meet women who are similar to us, who also want to broaden their internal freedom. And I think this is an individual process. And when we have girlfriends, colleagues, other girls, people who inspire us, maybe who has been inspiring to me? Suffragists, our grandmothers who were fighting for the voting rights, for education, for women to be able to go to work. So when I heard the stories, when I read their letters, I keep repeating Maria Dulębianka's words, let's be courageous enough to be free. Let's become familiar with our own strength. So there are situations when I'm afraid, when I am shy, or where I'm not certain, sure, confident. And then I think of Dulębianka. Probably she was scared when she wanted to be a candidate to the parliament. Probably she was shy to wear trousers, to go out to people, to speak to people, when people were pointing at her and saying that she was a weirdo. A woman with a political agenda was a weirdo. So such women are inspiring to me. I would like to refer to this process of self-acceptance. Thanks to you, thanks to your art. In this self-acceptance, I move forward. So I would like to ask you about this process in Sexify. Do you know what has moved me? That all these girls were often had nude scenes, and they were really relaxed. I remember when I was at their age, we were always covering our bodies, even in the private situations. It was quite uncomfortable to be naked. Yes, that's true. As you have said, below the deadline, the holiness is finished. Below the waistline, sorry. Women find it very difficult that it's for us to decide what is holy, whether it's appropriate, whether it's big enough or small enough. It's for us to decide whether it's okay or not. Others shouldn't have this say, just like in our series. How to put it? The characters who are having sex, it's about sex. It's not about the abdomen, the belly being too big or not. Women have the right. No, I know it's quite obvious, but it's still pretty strong for people. I'm still learning this. That it's about sex, not about what you look like. Marta Niedźwiecka was saying about this oppression concerning our image, concerning our bodies. You are also writing about it in the doll's story. So we can be very oppressive towards ourselves. We find it quite difficult to self-accept. When I was a teenager, I watched a series, Mothers, Wives and Lovers. I used to love it. I still feel sentimental about these movies. So there are three options of women presented there. The title was not very sexy. I don't think it would become popular nowadays. So, I could see the magazine covers, and now I've got a child. She is 10 years old, and sometimes she looks into the mirror and she asks me, "Is everything all right with me?" So I really suffer when she asks this question to me. So I tell her, yeah, it's okay. You look good. You are alive. You walk. That's okay. But also I can get into Instagram. I can show you some accounts, and then I do not fill her with the convictions, with the beliefs I've had. Only for a year, for the last year or two, I have sensed a change towards the body, what it looks like. Only now we can see it depicted in magazines. So, Enslaved Poles and Free Poland. This is the name of this panel, the title of the panel, so we need to talk about it. Maria was singing about Poland. I think I will probably change the words. You said somebody switched the light off. When I listen to your song, I can see my emotions in it, and I feel, well, I have to pack my luggage. It's the end. But on the other hand, it's hard to make this decision. I am here. So to be honest, thanks to you, I am here because you are here, because you are so energetic, you do a lot of work and you do not surrender. So, Maria, if you would like to, are you saying about the song here? There used to be Poland here, there used to be my home here. Why is it so dark? Did somebody switch the light off? Uh, the working title was Farewell to My Fatherland. But it's about the end of Polish topic in my art. You can interpret it differently. You can interpret it that Poland is no longer a country. It disappeared. It is the fact is that I reached the wall. As an artist, I'm no longer interested in Poland. It's probably quite brutal. And what is very interesting to me, Kalina was saying that she would like to stop having to do things, that she's tired. I think it's an interesting process I also observe in me. So I am becoming free as a woman. I'm becoming a free woman. And I'm also tired. Maria Peszek is tired. I am tired of this heroic, creative attitude. I am tired of this permanent fight. To me, it's a very female characteristic. We are becoming over-responsible. We are accepting challenges that cannot be faced. So this heroism is a feature of modern women. So now I say, that's enough. I'm not going to sing about Poland anymore. That's it. Maybe Poland is very interesting now. Maybe it's interesting to write about Poland, but I don't want to do this. A moment ago, we heard a contribution about the body. What does it mean to have free body? I don't know how it is. Maria Peszek has been trained and coached since I was 9 years old. I was coached to become an artist, not a female artist, an artist. So I have no children. Of course, it was a very deep choice. I have been thinking about it for a long time. I don't have children for many reasons, but the main factor of this decision was that I cannot afford having children as an artist. I'm an artist's child, and I know that this is a painful life if you are an artist's child. So I didn't want to make my children live in such difficult situation. So, what I would like to say, for me, to become a woman, I still do not feel a woman in 100%, although I just had my 48th birthday. I am a lonely, fighting girl who slowly is wrinkling. I like the wrinkles, but am I a woman? I didn't have a chance to feel it. So if we are talking about the process of freeing, I think it's very interesting to give ourselves the right to say, I'm not going to fight, that's it. However, it does not mean that I won't find another form as an artist, as a woman, to express myself. But I think I am fed up with the war. Maybe I don't respond to your question directly, but it's very interesting to me. That's why I wanted to tell you about it. So you mentioned maternity in general. I didn't plan to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it. Maybe it's time to isolate the word mother from a Pole. So I'm asking whether a Polish woman does not have to be a mother. No, she has to be the mother. She has to be the mother. I think that a Polish woman shouldn't have any duties. So this having to, this shoulding, I want to be as far away from this word as possible. So I would prefer to talk about what I would like to do, what would I choose, what have I decided. In Poland, they are not asking you whether you would like something, but when. You are tired of Poland and the topic of Poland. You are exhausted. So I wonder, because in your record, you are addressing LGBT, at least in 2 songs. Maybe there are more mentions. Harari said something interesting yesterday. Now, many of this identity based of gender, they are tiring, but this fluid identity is the future. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about these chaotic identities? Sorry, not chaotic, but the permanent identities that cannot get changed. When you're talking about fluid, I decided to tell you about one thing today.
No co zaczęła?
It's super important what you said about fluid or liquid ideology. She told me it's fluid cytology, which you should do because it has a much higher index of disease detection. Sorry to change the topic. Okay, I remembered that it's so important to say it. Fluid cytology, that's important to remember. And now I'm coming back to fluid identity.
Już jestem. Ale wcale nie mam tak bardzo dużo do powiedzenia na ten temat, więc
Well, that's an important point to make, but Maria, perhaps over to you. Yes, fluid cytology, it's important. And now about identity. What can I tell about it? Recently, since you recorded the lesbian's love song, are you a lesbian? I have a partner whom I love a lot. He's here. And it's the same person with whom I have we've been together for 28 years with my beloved Edek. But can I be absolutely sure to say that I am not a lesbian? What does it really mean? Because I think that everybody had some experience or intimate experience with their own sex, or was dreaming about it, or is still longing for it. We don't really know what are these categories. I wanted to record a lesbian love song because there had never been such a song before. I didn't want to use some mild words when I look at your hair or your breast. It's simply saying, I want to make love with you, my dear. And it was addressed by a woman to another woman. There are many lesbians in Poland who deserve their own love song. At least that's what I think. And the applause which I hear here, it does not come from lesbians. It's not possible that all lesbians from Łódź came here to the machinery hall. Well, I've forgotten what I wanted to say. Okay, let's move fluidly to the next topic. Fluid identity, that's another topic. We know that we name everything to navigate in the chaos of the world. If they don't name it, they are afraid of things. And now a lot of people are scared, so they want to name everything to avoid being in anxiety. There is not enough alcohol to cover the fear, so the little alcohol bottles are no longer sold in the corner stores, so it doesn't help. At least Kalina and Maria suggest that we need therapy. Maria suggests that Poland needs therapy, and you like the topic of therapy. So I think that we, the Poles, after the women's strike, are subjected to therapy. It's like a process that we have to carry out, but it seems that our men also have to undergo such therapy. 2 days ago, I read a very interesting text by Kuba Benedyczak, who interviewed a few men who experience home violence. The first thing that comes to your mind is the famous Sex Misia movie, where the protagonist screams, "A woman is hitting me." So these men have to defend themselves in this patriarchal system where they are the victims, just like we are. Okay, but these are two different things, being a victim of home violence and being a victim of patriarchal system. These are two separate topics. No, I simply wanted to say that they were also victims of home violence when they were kids. And they became victims in their adult life. I am not allowed to talk on their behalf, but when I look at men and think what kind of victims they are, but we feel women moved forward and know what they want to achieve. Some are a bit forward, some a bit backwards, and men are left behind, and they think, all right, perhaps they will come back. Perhaps they will give up their plan, and now we are waiting for them to join us. Should we come back and invite our men? It should be a kind of mutual support. I don't want to sound radical. These are only my feelings. Maria, would you like to sound radical? No, I think they are a little bit scared. But they are great, and they are in a really difficult situation because the patriarchal system, if you are not tough, you are not one of us. The patriarchy defined them this way. What do you think? I think that on the way to emancipation, women did a lot. So perhaps men suddenly thought they have nothing to do about their emancipation. An example, women can wear trousers, and it's nothing strange, but men wearing dresses or skirts, despite the fact that they do have some gentlemen in my company who wear skirts or dresses when they are far from other people. And suddenly they ask a question, why don't we go out somewhere wearing these dresses? For hundreds of years, women built sisterhood, solidarity, and they were able to reach for the objective they established. The women's strike is a revolution that has been happening since the times before the suffrage movement. So on the one hand, males are aware of what is going on, but there is no movement to release their power and their will. My son is 5 years old, and sometimes he responds emotionally. And sometimes I wonder, it's not the right thing to cry, even if you want to cry. So the question is, won't their colleagues in school say, that's not male's thing, that's not right? Becoming a man is also a painful process in Poland. Coming back to dresses and trousers, it was easier for female to fight for trousers because they are a male's attribute, while dresses are a female attribute, and females are treated as a worse species. So we don't really understand why males should be like that. What about the Scottish dresses? I thought you were asking about cats, and I was trying to think of an answer. I would like to add that it's really hard to demand from children to change the world with their approach. But if we show to the kids that it's possible, that you can do it, that if your dad is crying and nobody laughs at him, perhaps the boy won't find it right if the mom's hair is gray or she has not shaved her legs and she feels good about it. Perhaps the daughter won't shave her legs either. Somebody texted, please try to end the meeting. No, we won't end. We will keep on talking, even if we end the conversation here. We'll keep on doing. I know you are tired, but I will tell you where I take the energy from. I have a lot of fantastic women around me, and I know that if I don't have the power, they will go on. And if they don't have the power, I will go on. But that's my great need. I keep on fighting. Let me come back to my daughter. I feel that between the time when I grew up, when I felt that the women should be like that, we had a moment. All of a sudden, I find that there are lots of books about female heroes. I don't want her to be like a heroine. I simply want her to maintain balance with normal life, and that is my appeal. But I keep on doing, I keep on talking, and as long as I have the power to continue, I will. We must have the right not to feel that we have to do something. It's really difficult, but I will do it. I just wanted to say that, to add, because you said that you get the power from the women around you, whom you can rely on when you feel weaker. And I would like to say that I have males around me, and I know I'm in an exceptional situation, but there are such males who are affectionate, tender, supportive, patient. And I know that it's not along the line of our meeting. Yeah, it is in line with our meeting because we are all humans. In the Viva la Volva song, there is a statement: a human to a human is a sister, and my man is like a sister to me because it happens that a man is a woman. Do you have the power for some questions from the audience? Do they have the power and will to ask a question?
Mamy jeszcze, to ja oddam mój mikrofon, tak? Czy macie mikrofon? Jedzie, dobra. Dobra, to proszę tam, pan się chyba tutaj tak zgłosił pierwszy.
Dzień dobry, witam. Marcin Adamusiak.
Marcin Adamusiak. I would like to introduce a third element into your relaxing discussion. You were talking about girls. From my point of view, you talked nicely about men, just like me. But let me say that it's enough to travel several hundred kilometers to the west, and we have the third way or the third gender behind the Oder River. You can introduce it into the documents. It's not clearly specified what the name for it should be. It is quite a new thing. But the interesting fact is that there's a similar case in Austria where I lived for 24 years after the martial law was introduced in Poland. It turned out that there are some political systems which are conservative, apparently. And still, despite the political conservatism, there is the Supreme Court in Austria which said, okay, you can be conservative, but the law is that people of the same sex should be able to get married. In Germany, when back in the 1980s, in the Western Germany, a woman needed to have a permit to work from her man, to open a bank account, and so on and so forth. So it shows what way can be covered through multicultural, through education, and then it led to the situation that nearly 2 generations later we have the third sex, the third gender. The difficult decisions made by parents when it cannot be clearly identified, when the appearance is like that and the hormones tell something different, and you have to make a decision. So I would like you to address the issue that there is the third way. Have you had such experiences in your environment? But how to introduce it into our public life?
Wprowadzam w
In a way, I introduced this element in the second season of the series because we have people there. People act there, not genders. People who do not have to define themselves. I am either a woman or man. So this is my job to communicate this. So there are binary actors, not people who act binary people, because when people see it in the movie, then they won't be surprised when they will see such people walking down the street. So we were talking about this fluid identity. Whenever I can, because I find it fascinating, and I find these people fascinating, and I have quite a lot very special friends. You can refer to them as the third gender. So I provide as much space as possible in the video about Ave Maria. There is a unique artist, special artist, who is a transsexual person. So I give him a piece of my stage. I show this person as a beautiful person. This is beautiful, and I share my space with him.
Mogę tylko dodać, że staram
I can only add that I address it in my literature. My recent 2 books provide quite a lot of space to tell the story about sexuality. Gender is not that important. Experience of the body, privacy, intimacy, exceeding the borders, and naming the unknown. are of key importance. In Polish, it's not easy to ignore the gender because in Polish we've got feminine, masculine endings, we've got passive voice or imperative, and other grammatical structures that allow us to hide gender in the text, and the reader cannot guess whether a woman or a man are speaking. Are there any other questions? Someone at the back wants to ask a question. Very interesting panel. It's lovely to listen to you. I respect the art of all of yours, but my heart is with Maria Peszek. Thank you very much for your songs. Barbarka is just amazing. I was so moved, so great respect for your art. But I wanted to talk about a different thing. After listening to you, I probably have 20 reflections or so. I could ask many questions, but there is no time. But I haven't heard the economic context. We live in free Poland, but still Polish women are economically enslaved. We earn less doing the same jobs. We depend on men who earn more. We are in a very specific situation. We are people who can afford to buy a ticket for the games. We can come to watch from other cities. Women in small villages and towns are enslaved because they do not get fair remuneration. They are unable to do the same jobs as men. And this is the context that could be developed under a separate panel. It's very important because we're trying to come to terms with our own sexuality. We want to accept ourselves. But at the same time, we treat it as the secondary citizens, for example, during job interview. All the time, in most places, we have this situation. So it's important that we highlight these topics, especially in such events as the Freedom Games. So it's for consideration and for further discussion alphabetically. Or shall we follow a different order? I create in a very specific environment. It took me a lot of time to find my place, to fight for my place, also in terms of the economics. And I'm in a mini bubble. So I don't think that I'm a person who should be talking about this, but me, Kalina, I have been fighting for a long time to reach the position I am at. So that's all from me. I can say show business, the word of musicians, is a very special word. It lacks imbalance that is present in other types of arts. For many years, I've been an actress, TV actress, film actress, and it was a different story. In the world of music, you can verify it very easily. There are no financial differences. If you go onto the stage, it works. If somebody wants to buy tickets for your concert, you can verify it very easily. There are no major differences. Now, I have an advantage, and now there is a different perspective for me. I act in a Netflix series, and I have discovered that 90% of the actors are males. Maybe it's not always like that during movie making, but these 90% of actors, or not only actors, the crew, the film crew, they are men, and most directors, screenplayers. Well, they are mostly men. Women are wearing poor quality clothes. I know it's a strong statement. Women have to cook lunches and dinners, and they are only assistants. I haven't been an actress for a dozen years or so, but I found it striking. A dozen years or so ago, it was like that. So please tell me about your example. Now we are making the second series, so it's me, a producer who is also a female, and I think there are both men and female. I'm not watching gender equality. I just want to work with specialists, with good specialists. Yeah. The people I work with, the men I'm working with are also great. No, they are really great. And they are very devoted to their work, but 90% are men, so it's very specific. There are functions that could easily be done by women, and they could do a really good job. So this is what I have observed. In the world of music, this border has been exceeded, and the criterion of efficiency really works. It's up to you whether you will come to Maria's concert or Roman's concert. That's it.
Talking about the money, I would add one more aspect related to what we said before. What is right and what is wrong. It's not right to talk about the money and to tell how much you earn. And that is why we are in a situation in which we in which we don't know who earns how much. And then it turns out that being in the same position, our male colleague earns more than the female colleague. So financial safety is of key importance. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to liberate from other oppressions if we depend financially on our husband, partner, from whom we would like to escape because we experience violence. Money is important. It's what Virginia Woolf wrote about: own room and own money, owing to which you can be independent. Only then our road to regain our nature and talk from our abdomen starts. And the last question from the audience. Good evening, Hania Domżalska. I would like to ask about mansplaining. So males explain obvious things to women, thinking that they're stupid or they don't know everything. Based on my experience, I would like to say that sometimes I work on locations and some people explain how to turn on the light in specific lamps, although it's obvious. So I wanted to ask you whether you experience mansplaining on an everyday basis, because it's a big problem. This is something which makes me really furious. I respond in different ways, but sometimes I simply say, I didn't ask this question. I was not expecting an opinion. Thank you. And people no longer try to explain the word to me. But some days ago, the fact that I'm quite critical towards other films, that was the moment when I was telling something about films. Somebody said, okay, you are not right. It should be done in different ways. I don't feel as offended by such attempts as I did in the past. Tell them that you know how these lamps operate, that you have heard something about it before. Or say, I love you. And they don't know what to do. I think it's a good strategy to turn it into a joke. It took a lot of effort not to care about it. It's their problem that they try to explain to me. I know it. It's their waste of time, unnecessary talking. I laugh at it. And since I approach it this way, I don't feel offended. Such situations do happen. They happen continuously, but I don't care any longer. As for professional things, writing music or lyrics, they don't dare. But for technologies, how to put an earphone into your ear, or how to hold a microphone, well, honestly speaking, it helps sometimes. Yeah, so equilibrium is important. So let me end with a thought that occurred in the basement ring. But we are not in the basement, we're in the main room. Marta said that in order for a generation change to happen, they need witches, those who know, and not the innocent women who don't know. So I feel I have witches who can tell you, don't care, because we have experienced it. It's going to be okay. The tomorrow belongs to us. Tomorrow is today. Today is tomorrow, and tomorrow is today. Viva la vulva, viva viva la witch. Thank you very much.
Słuchajcie, teraz by się przydał koncert Marii, no ale idziemy do domu.
It's not always easy to recognize. It may look like this, or like this. It may be a burden, but it is a responsibility that we embrace nonetheless. But if it means this for one person and this for someone else, maybe it ultimately means being there for one another. It isn't handed to us, but we know where to find it and how it feels. How it tastes.
Okej. I Marta Dzido będzie czekać w księgarni na osoby chętne do podpisywania książek.
It means different things to different people, but for many, it means everything. And if we all fight for it, it will eventually bring us together.
ihrer Ausreise.
Now boarding flight 1215.
You may now kiss the bride.
Work is different now. We're commuting less, virtually meeting more. Separating work life and life can feel challenging. It's easy to forget that to thrive at work, we need to take care of ourselves. Microsoft Viva Insights offers new experiences to balance productivity and well-being. Personal insights help you stay at your best and most productive. Add structure to your remote workday by opting for a virtual commute, carving out time to have a productive start in the morning and mindfully disconnect in the evening. Protect time before your calendar fills up for focused work, coaching, and learning. Take regular mental breaks with Headspace, tapping into dedicated moments of mindfulness. Use emotional check-ins to tune into your day-to-day mindset and well-being. Strengthen team bonds with Stay Connected experiences that prompt you to praise collaborators, schedule one-on-ones, and follow up on pending commitments and outstanding tasks. Insights for managers and leaders offer windows into how work happens and the impact on employee well-being. Identify where teams may be isolated and take action to break down silos. Quickly discover opportunities to prevent burnout, promote coaching and development, and boost engagement. You and your team's well-being is important, especially in times of change. Taking care of one another allows you to thrive and your organization to build resilience. Experience how new well-being insights in Viva can help.
Liberté Talks. To, co ważne. Seria Liberté Talks realizowana jest dzięki wsparciu Google oraz Państwa darowizną. Na podcast Lex Publica zaprasza Zuzanna Nowicka.